let's say that we are developing a calculator, we are creating a calculator application.
Yeah.
We created the graphical user interface.
Yes.
And for example, I am doing the multiplication process module, and my friend is doing the division.
Yeah.
For example, when I do the multiplication and he does the division, does your program has a merging module that we can add those two code bits to just one file?
What NetBeans offers is, if you're writing code, you would use a source control system. So you would have a choice in source control of Mercurial, CVS, Subversion, Git, Bazaar. There's numerous other ones. NetBeans fully supports all of these. There are plugins for it to use it. The reason I actually switched from using IntelliJ to NetBeans' merging of the data is much, much better in Mercurial. So NetBeans would allow you to create the components visually. If you were starting from scratch, I would recommend you use JavaFX now, because it's simpler than Swing. You can use the scene builder to design the code. You can write all of the business logic. The scene builder integrates with NetBeans. The source control integrates with NetBeans, so it would all work perfectly for you.
Or can we just use built-in features, or are you talking about Cordova or something?
Cordova's built into the NetBeans platform. NetBeans was designed to be very modular. So in order to develop Android, what you would need to do is to download NetBeans and then install the Android plugin. If you go and come up to the NetBeans stand, I know Gurjan's very keen to demonstrate the Android plugin because it's had an awful lot of work on it, and it's very slick.
Question. So,
yep.
Yes. What's the difference between Eclipse and NetBeans? For example, what is the basic reason that I should choose NetBeans?
I think we are really lucky in the Java world, because we're sort of sitting there humming between the free Porsche, the free Ferrari, or the free Maserati. So, you can download Eclipse, you can download NetBeans, you can download the IntelliJ Community Edition for free. They have, the main difference to some extent between them is they have different design philosophies. So original design philosophy was to be able to do everything off the keyboard. NetBeans is very much to be out of the box working and to support all the latest technologies. Eclipse has a more complex framework. What's most interesting is when people move from one IDE to another, they expect, like, you move from Eclipse to IntelliJ and then you complain that it doesn't have perspectives, and then you move back to NetBeans and complain there's too many perspectives. So you move around. I think if you switch tools, you need to say, I'm going to try the tool, because if I want something that works like Eclipse, it's Eclipse. As I say, they're all brilliant. I personally find that NetBeans does most of what I want faster. I don't like the complexity of Eclipse with the perspectives and the editors, but equally people building complex applications actually like that. So it's horses for courses, really. I think the fact we're arguing whether we want to drive the Ferrari or the Maserati, we're not paying for any of them, is, it's a good sign. It's healthy. And I think it would be a disaster if one of the tools went away, because I think they need them. When I started coding, I started using Eclipse, and I thought it was brilliant. And then I was introduced to IntelliJ on version 5, and I was really annoyed because people, they've been keeping.
Thank you for the speech, by the way. My question is a bit controversial, as I can say. I'm preferring to use, Linux or Debian-based products as an operating system, but let's not say most of, but some of the IDEs or, text editors or just editors, let's say, like the strip features on the Linux-based versions than, other than Mac versions or Windows versions. Does NetBeans have something like that in depth of the, having options or any other things?
Well, the shortcuts are totally configurable, so you can configure it to work in any way you want. So if you're a Linux user and you want to use the Vi shortcuts, you can set up NetBeans to use the Vi shortcuts. NetBeans runs very well on Linux. One of NetBeans' strengths has always been, I'm a Mac user, so I to some extent have had the same problems over the years, that it works fine on Windows, but it doesn't work terribly well on the Mac. So I don't actually use Windows, I use Mac, and sometimes I use Linux. And I've had absolutely no problems with running NetBeans on Linux.
Thank you.
And I would recommend you stay for the next talk, because I can promise you it's going to be something special. Thank you very much.